So I mentioned it on my Facebook, and I don't know who's paying attention or whatever, but there was an incident recently, a thing, I don't know what to call it, where I like to go out on little hikes in the morning, and Katrina's usually asleep, and this was, I don't know, was it a week ago? I made a video that day, but anyway, I had made a YouTube video when the last time I had gone to this certain spot, which was a trailhead, and so I just had a feeling. I was like, someone's gonna figure out where I was, and they're gonna go there, and they're gonna try to see me there. I don't know why, I just had that feeling. So I told Katrina that morning, I said, this is exactly where I'm going, and you go right down here, and you go right down here, and that will be exactly where I am going to go. So I pulled up, and I saw a guy walking. He was wearing like black biker shorts, black shirt, black hat, black sneakers. I don't know what he thought he was. I don't know if, FBI, PI, I don't know what the fuck he was, but he was something. And I was like, okay, got a funny vibe just looking at him, just seeing him. So I started walking over to the trailhead, and he was, of course, bent down tying his shoes. And I'm like, okay, tying his shoelaces for 10 minutes so that I could get in front of him. And I swear to God, was doing everything in his power to make sure that I was in front of him so that he was following me. And I was not cool with that. So I stopped. There were guys in the parking lot, construction workers, because they were doing work on the parking lot. And I was not going to leave that area where there were people and it was public and there was a road with cars on it until that man was gone. Because I could tell that he was trying to get behind me. He was doing everything he could to get behind me. And I already had felt comfortable before I left the house, when I saw him, when he was bent down tying his shoes. So I stopped, and I'm looking at the sign at the trailhead, and I'm just reading it. And I look back, and I'm like, where the fuck did he go? I don't see him. There's a big tree over there. I'm like, is he literally hiding behind the tree? And so he comes out, and he's like doing little stretches. And I'm like, oh, he was stretching behind the tree. Okay. So I'm trying to think to myself, like, what exactly am I going to do here? Because I'm not afraid to make a fool out of myself to be safe. Okay. I will do anything for safety. I'm not embarrassed. I will do anything to be safe for me and for anybody else. So, eventually I decided what I was going to do. I sat down on a rock by the trail that was near where those people were at, where the road was at, that was in a very public place, and I just sat there. That man came right by me. He's just hemming and hawing and stretching and looking at his phone and looking at his watch and looking around, and I just looked right at him, and I just kept looking at him. And he eventually kind of looked around. He had sunglasses on, so I don't know if he actually looked at me, but I'm pretty sure he looked at me, and I was looking right at him, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And then finally, eventually, he walked off, and or ran off or whatever. I was creeped the fuck out, and I left after that. And that was actually the day that I wound up going up on the overpass when the firefighters' bodies were being transported back from Washington to Idaho. And I made a buddy up there, Jamie, but I know this sounds paranoid, but I think she knew who that was, because I told her about it, and she said, yeah. And then she said this weird comment. She said, no matter what they look like. Because he didn't look creepy, except for the fact that he's wearing all black and the hat. And there was something about the way he was dressed that I was like, you're not going out jogging like that. I don't know. It was weird. But anyway, it made me think that she knew him. And so maybe she was trying to be undercover on the bridge. And I thought she was awesome, though. I don't know. I liked her. I don't know. Anyway, but that was my little story of my guardian angels taking care of me. They always do. But anyway.